at a particular pattern of consciousness of that combination of that male and that female. And that male and female combination has a tendency on this planet to bring in emotional souls, or believing souls, over the last 2,000 years. We have a Piscean age. As a result of that, the soul was a believer, had to structure a belief around something, so religion was chosen. And so a lot of religions, most of them were built in the last 2,000 years. Now, the vibration has changed. Even Hitler knew there was a change coming because he called it his 1,000 years of Reich. And in the time of the change, the vibratory frequency changes, and a higher level of soul is coming in now. And that level of soul is coming in now is the knower soul, and it doesn't need a church or a Bible or a Global 2000 report or anything basically to know that there's a spiritual problem here and there's an environmental problem here. That soul knows. Okay? You understand? Good. During this time, another thing happens. The soul has a period of learning experience. And during that time, what's called the foundation of the aura is enhanced. And I'll show you what that is. Now, realize that you've got an aura field, right? Coming from the body. If you have one human being here, like this, that person would have an aura field around it. And that aura field is influenced by the surrounding environment and has to do with the air and the atmosphere and all of that. It also has to do with the mineral contents of the earth. The mineral contents of the earth usually has the first noticeable thing in the accent of the way a person speaks. So, for example, a southern Georgian person versus a New Yorker will speak differently. It has to do with all of the grounding into the environment where they're born. Then you have person B over here. Here's person A. Here's person B. They have an aura field. As soon as A and B meet, personality is born. That's the birth of the personality. There is no personality with only one entity. The personality begins when there's two entities or more because there's an interplay between the two, and that immediately creates what's called karma. Then you have person C over here, which is another entity. And so now you have a trinity. You have three different aura fields, all working within one, creating an overall aura field, which is humanity. Okay? This humanity aura field, which is created by the first three, or however many more are involved, becomes, let's say in the case of the Earth, the ring pass knot of the aura fields of all three beings. There's the North Pole of the Earth, the South Pole. The Great Pyramid, by the way, once again, is right in the center of all the energies of the Earth. The land masses, and you take the valleys and the deep depths of the trenches of the Earth and the oceans, you come up with 455 feet. And it goes on and on and on. It defines all this, the Great Pyramid. Yeah?
No matter how many times the poles switch, that pyramid still stays in the center, right?
Yeah, it stays in the center. And the pole switches every 4.3 million years. The last time the North Pole and the complete pole was Phoenix, Arizona, if you want to know where it was. Pleiadians are very specific in their numbers. So now, what happens is you've got this area here of humanity's joint aura field. So once again, when you switch it over here in the brain, your consciousness is going to get a feedback, not only from the vibration of what's coming in, your sensitivity, but the environment of the aura fields around you. Okay. The next thing that happens is the Earth has a moon that was drug in a few 100,000 years ago. When the moon was brought in, it extended the humanity's field out to of this particular satellite. So this area became known as a ring pass knot. Now, if person B were suddenly to lose form and die, as we know it, they would then go into this energy field on the astral plane, which goes from the center of the Earth to just someplace past the moon. And they would be born back into person A, B. They would reincarnate into one of those two people over some period of time and resume their physical lessons here. Okay? This phenomenon of what's going on here lasts a certain period of time. In some of Yogananda's teachings, for example, Sri Akaswar and some of those people, that particular science of India teaches the mechanics of this if you want to get into it. The Dalai Lama, for example, whom is using our products now, we have our products set up in his temple in Kathmandu, Tibet, as we speak. And they've been using our products for a couple of years now. Actually, I'll show you how that started later. But the Dalai Lama will tell his monks that he's going to be born somewhere, and when he dies, then the monks go look for him in some other city. and then 7 or 8 years later they'll find him in a child that old, and the child will identify the personality of the seeking monks and artifacts that they have and artifacts they don't have, and he gets his inheritance back. So this is Pleiadian. The teachers of the Tibetans were the Rishis, and the Rishis came from the Pleiades. So you begin to understand a little bit of this incarnation cycle. But what my point is of bringing this up is, when you come into the Aquarian age, you have people of this caliber here being born now into the mothers, but you also have people being born into the mothers here now that are free of this cycle, that have completed this lesson, have gone out to the stars, are returning. So you have the starseed children coming. And so that's why you see such a great conflict of personalities, and people like Marilyn Ferguson and all these other speakers here talk about all these different personalities incarnating, and it kind of creates a bit of confusion. And you take some old Piscean soul that's typically, i.e. a politician that's been a senator for, I mean, aren't politicians a joke? Aren't they the funniest thing you've ever seen as far as humans? I mean, just look at them. The senators are supposed to be our great examples of shining knights, are the greatest bullshit artists on the planet, And they have no idea. They have no clue in hell that what's really going on. They have no idea. They just know something's going on. And so basically what it is it's the trilads versus the New Age people. That's the real battle that's going on. So that's the Armageddon that we're coming into. Somebody had a question here?
When are we due for another pole shift? When are we due for another pole shift?
Pole shift occurs gradually. There are no jump. No. Yeah. That's all. See, all the negative prophecies. All the negative prophecies, okay, which Nostradamus knew of this cycle, and he put them up there for you to understand. He didn't put them up there for you to be, susceptible to. He wanted to wake you up. All of the negative prophecies in Revelation are being orchestrated by the Greys. And if you even go deep enough in the Bible, it'll even tell you that. So you just ignore all that and do what you're supposed to do. Be wholesome, be educated, be smart, give, and don't take any bullshit from anything. That's how it works. Yeah.